சாரம் ராஜ் சொல்லுங்க. வாங்க வாங்க, வேறு ஒன்றும் இல்லைம்மா. தேங்க்யூம்மா. சாயிரம். மேட்ச் பாக்ஸ் 1 செகண்ட். दीदी मैच बैक सर. हाँ हाय, वी आर गुड सर. थैंक यू. या ओके. हाँ ओके माँ. थैंक यू. साईराम. साईराम राज.
विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ गणनात् त्वा गणपतिं भवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्रयवतु। गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम्। ॐ निधनपतये नमः निधनपतान्त्रिकाय नमः ऊर्ध्वाय नमः ऊर्ध्वलिङ्गाय नमः हिरण्याय नमः हिरण्यलिङ्गाय नमः सुवर्णाय नमः सुवर्णलिङ्गाय नमः दिव्याय नमः दिव्यलिङ्गाय नमः भवाय नमः भवलिङ्गाय नमः शर्वाय नमः शर्वलिङ्गाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवलिङ्गाय नमः ज्वलाय नमः ज्वललिङ्गाय नमः आत्माय नमः आत्मलिङ्गाय नमः परमाय नमः परमलिङ्गाय नमः एतत् सोमस्य सूर्यस्य सर्वलिङ्गं स्थापयति पाणिमन्त्रं पवित्रम् सद्यो जातं प्रपद्यामि सद्यो जाताय वै नमो नमः भवे भवे नाति भवे भवस्व मां भवोद्भवाय नमः वामदेवाय नमो ज्येष्ठाय नमः श्रेष्ठाय नमो रुद्राय नमः कालाय नमः कलविकरणाय नमो बलविकरणाय नमो बलाय नमो बलप्रमथनाय नमः सर्वभूतदमनाय नमो मनोन्मनाय नमः अघोरेभ्यो घोरेभ्यो घोरघोरतरेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यो सर्वशर्वेभ्यो नमस्ते अस्तु रुद्ररूपेभ्यः तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्रः प्रचोदयात्। ईशानः सर्वविद्यानाम् ईश्वरः सर्वभूतानां ब्रह्माधिपतिर्ब्रह्मणोऽधिपतिः ब्रह्मा शिवो मे अस्तु सदा शिवो। नमो हिरण्यबाहवे हिरण्यवर्णाय हिरण्यरूपाय हिरण्यपतये अमेरिकापतये उमापतये पशुपतये नमो नमः। ऋतगं सत्यं परं ब्रह्म पुरुषं कृष्णपिङ्गलम् ऊर्ध्वरेतं विरूपाक्षं विश्वरूपाय वै नमो नमः। सर्वो वै रुद्रस्तस्मै रुद्राय नमो अस्तु पुरुषो वै रुद्रः सन्महो नमो नमः। विश्वं भूतं भुवनं चित्रं बहुधा जातं जायमानं च यत् सर्वो ह्येष रुद्रस्तस्मै रुद्राय नमो अस्तु। कनरुद्राय प्रचेतसे मेदुष्टमाय तव्यसे वोचे वशन्तमगुं हृदे सर्वो ह्येष रुद्रस्तस्मै रुद्राय नमो अस्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ जातवेदसे सुनवाम सोममरातीयतो निदहाति वेदः स नः पर्षदति दुर्गाणि विश्वा नावेव सिन्धुन् दुरितार्यग्निः तामग्निवर्णां तपसा ज्वलन्तीं वैरोचनीं कर्मफलेषु जुष्टाम् दुर्गां देवीं शरणमहं प्रपद्ये सुतरसितरसे नमः अग्ने त्वं पारयानव्यो अस्मान् स्वस्तिभिरति दुर्गाणि विश्वा पूश्च पृथ्वी बहुलान उर्वी भवातोकाय तनयाय शय्योः विश्वानिनो दुर्गः जातवेदः सिन्धुन्ननाव दुरितातिपर्षि अग्ने अस्त्रिवन्मनसा गृणानोऽस्माकं बोध्यवितातनूनाम् पृतनाजितकुं सहमानमुग्रमग्निगुं हुवेम परमात् सरस्वात् स नः पर्षदति दुर्गाणि विश्वा क्षामद्देवो अतिदुरितार्यग्निः प्रज्ञोषितमीड्यो अध्वरेषु सनाच्च होता नव्यश्च सत्सि स्वाचाग्ने तनुवं विप्रयस्वास्मभ्यं च सौभाग्यमायजस्व गोभिर्जुष्टमयुषो निषिद्धं तवेदेन्द्र विष्णोरनुसञ्चरेम नाकस्य पृष्ठमपि संवसानो वैष्णवीर्लोकैहमादयन्ताम् ॐ कात्यायनाय विद्महे कन्याकुमारी धीमहि तन्नो दुर्गिः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं तु यद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देव नारायण नमोऽस्तु ते विसर्गबिन्दुमात्राणि पदपादाक्षराणि च न्यूनानि चातिरिक्तानि क्षमस्व साईश्वर अपराधसहस्राणि क्रियन्ते अनिशं मया नासोऽयमिति मां मत्वा क्षमस्व साईश्वर अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति त्वमेव शरणं मम तस्मात् कारुण्यभावेन रक्ष रक्ष साईश्वर हरिः ओं तत्सत् श्री साईश्वरार्पणमस्तु स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः विनाशक महेश्वरी भवानी नंदन माता महेश्वरी भवानी नंदन महागणपति महेश्वरी भवानी नंदन महागणपति मंगल चरणा महागणपति मंगल चरणा जय जय गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा साई महादेवा जय जय गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा विष्णु महेश्वरा साई महादेवा ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश्वरा साई महादेवा पिता पिता गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा।
मात पिता गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा।
जय जय गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा। विष्णु महेश्वरा साई महादेवा।
Sri Sai Ram. Offering my humble salutations on behalf of all of us at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Sai Ram, everyone. As I was reflecting on this Maha Aradhana day, the celebration of legacy of our Bhagwan, what is it that we are remembering? Is it really Bhagwan's physical form? Is this his name? Those are things we always remember, right? We all know Swami's form, Swami's name, that's why we come to the center and we follow so many things. More importantly, what came to my mind was Swami's teachings. It is really a recollection, remembrance, rededication of ourselves to follow Swami's teachings. Swami has said in one of the discourse, you could read many books, volumes of literature, hundreds of books, but if you do not follow one word of the book, it is no use. So, similarly, we can learn about Swami's teachings, but we don't put into practice even one of his teachings. I think that is really what we need to dedicate ourselves to doing. The way we look at Swami's Maha Aradhana is primarily dedicating ourselves to following Swami's simple teachings, like love all, serve all, help ever, hurt never. As part of the celebrations today, we started with Narayan Seva in the morning, serving the poor across New Jersey. Many people participated today. Again, this is again a remembrance of Swami's teachings, how we practice it. The same way, I would like all of us to think of at least one simple teaching of Swami, simple task in our lives that we take as a dedication for Swami and follow that going forward. At least from this day, if we can follow that, I think that would be the real remembrance and dedication for this Maha Aradhana Mahotsavam, in my view. On the same token, we wanted to have a guest speaker who reflects the message of Swami, who has done seva in a field where the field itself is seva. I know you all know what I'm talking about. A lot of us know that medical field in itself, doctors are considered as a second god where they can bring back people from to life. So that is itself a seva, and in that field, we have our guest speaker, Dr. Mayur Narayan, who has dedicated himself in getting into a depth of the field. I can go into his bio, I will be talking for the whole day. Literally, brother, when I read your bio, Sai Ram. Brother has accomplished, again, with Swami's blessings, so many physical things in his medical career. Least of which is head of the American International College of Surgeons, is going to be the president-elect, I believe. And he's also the head of the trauma surgery in RWJH. And he has taken a lot of efforts, not only in accomplishing these things. I saw that he has taken a lot of efforts to teach that information about how trauma care is done across the world, trying to bring this field from its nascency and how people can be saved. And that has been his life's mission from what I saw. More importantly, he has been a Balvika student and he is a YA that's been in New Jersey and participated in many events. And I met here brother in Sai Kulwanthal. So happened we were traveling in different places, but we met in Sai Kulwanthal. And here he is talking to all of us. He's going to share his experiences from me and how he applies those in the medical field. Let us all give a warm welcome to Brother Mayur Narayan.
Sairam. I know we can do better than that. Sairam. Respected elders, dearest brothers and sisters, and especially the youngest amongst us, what a distinct honor to be with you all today, to be able to speak on this most auspicious day, on Aradhana Day. We're supposed to celebrate the teachings, as Brother Shrikant said. But I want to start off by giving a vote of thanks to you all for giving me the privilege of the microphone. And Brother Manohar, I see you here. Thank you for inviting me. You know, any one of you could have given this talk. So it's a little humbling to be asked to speak about the work I do. In fact, in many ways, medicine is the easy way out. When you're the engineer building a bridge, you have to think, the work that I'm doing, that work, so many people will cross that every day. I must give it my all. I'm a simple person. The work that I do directly has an impact. So for me, it's a lot easier to see his hand. So I wanted to start with this quote, and especially for the youngsters, this talk is geared for you all, because we want you to be not as good as us, we want you to be better than us. No matter where you go, know that I will be there, guiding you every step of the way. You will shortly experience me in my different manifestations. You are my very own. I will protect you like the eyelids that protect the eyes. This is my journey. I am a Balvika student from New Jersey, from the Homedale Center. And I'm going to share some parts of my life that are very intimate. They're authentic, to tell you how, from where I started, the least deserving person is now in this position. Next slide. So these are my disclosures, and there's a lot of them. In fact, the most important letters after my name are P-A-P-A, Papa, and I'll tell you that story. What it was supposed to say there after the disclosure slide is that the full disclosure is I am nothing. If anything, I am an instrument of Bhagwan whose hands happen to be doing the work that he's set out for me to do. And the work that we do is the religion of love. I see this every day. I tell my students all over the world, what we do is love in action. And if I can say it as a trauma surgeon, then there's no excuse for anybody else. I want to just acknowledge my mom and dad. Of course, Swami is my eternal son. But without the love and grace of Mummy and Papa, who happen to be here today, they showed me the path as guru, as parents, to give me the opportunity and to give the discipline. When the ball was sometimes going into the gutter, it was the bowling alley with the two gutter guards up. So I wanted to thank and recognize Mummy and Papa. Thank you for being here. So let me start off with the journey. Anybody know where Barnegat, New Jersey is? Okay, there we go, Barnegat, New Jersey. If you can click on it. So, Mummy and Papa's Ishta Devata is Rama. All right? Papa used to live in Bhadrachalam. And for the longest time, he's been a devotee of Rama. And of course, with Rama comes Hanumanji, right? What a beautiful picture. So, growing up, if you click on the next button, I grew up with Papa every weekend. I'd play the dholak. And we'd sing the Sundarkand part all over New Jersey. So we were always spiritually inclined. So I was 12 years old. We were always in search of a guru. We didn't know of Swami at this time, by the way. So next slide. So we moved to New Jersey, Howell. And this is the Sathya. And we went there in search of some guidance. Papa and Mummy were always looking for some teachings. And in one of the Akhand Ramayan pujas, I took a picture of this guru who we had just met, didn't really know anything about him, and put his picture on the altar. And then one of our uncles came and said, next slide, he said, if you could click it again, please be mindful that Guru was just arrested. So you please remove the photo. Now, my sister and I was 12, she's 10, we're saying, what happened to the picture of the Guru? And Papa's like, don't worry, think of Rama, don't worry about it. Next slide. So we move here into Howell, and we're still seeking for a Guru. So we invite another Guru to our house. He comes to our house, and as soon as he walks in the hallway, something is not right with his house. And I'm 14 years old, and I'm saying, where did we find this person? And you knew what the next line was going to be. You please say this mantra, and in this corner, you put $5 a day. At the end of the month, you send it to my ashram. I said, my God, you please, I said, Papa, what are we doing with these gurus? And we said, Bhaiya, no more gurus, we're going to go. Next. So I joined Freehold High School, Freehold Borough High School. I'm a graduate of that program. And I met Sairam Balasubramanian. Sairam and I became very close friends. He was the first one to introduce me to Swami. Now, I played dholak growing up. He played harmonium. We loved basketball. He said, you should come to bhajans. And I said, okay, bhajans must be, Sitaram sounds good. I've been doing it. I went down to Homedale Center. I turned the corner, and I saw Swami for the first time. Fiery robe, red, full afro hair. It's in the Aradhana picture. And I said, my God, I was taken aback, but I played dholak, and I fell in love with the bhajans. And I said, Mommy, Papa, I have to go every week. And then Akhand bhajans came, and I played all night with Sai. And then Raji Auntie gave me a book, Sai Ram's mom. Now, if you go back one slide, this is just last week. This is the three of us, Rajiv Verma, myself, and Sai. We're all turning 50 this year. I don't want to declare that, but once a Balaka student, now in the senior statesman stage. But we were at Rajiv's 50th birthday party. The next slide, that's me in high school, right? Not really the studious type. Focused, always monkey mind. Sairam's mom was not a fan of that. She was like, who is this person? In fact, our chemistry teacher said, before Mayur came, Sairam was always quiet. Since his arrival, he's been talking nonstop. So Auntie was like, okay, you must be careful. Limit your interaction. Fast forward from 1992 to 2008. When Auntie died, I pronounced her Robert Johnson Hospital. She gave me this picture. This picture is one of three that Bhagwan signed in an interview. And she gave this to me in college, because I was going to start my career. They got one in an interview. Sai got one for college. He went to Cornell, and I got one. This is one of my most prized things. It always stays with me, no matter where I am. And to this day, his signature has not faded. Next slide. Now, I decided to do a BSMD. I thought I was going to be a pediatrician. My uncle was there in Illinois. I had some exposure. I said, Papa, Mommy, I want to be a doctor. They said, Karo, do it. So I only applied to BSMD programs because I knew they were guaranteed admission into medical school. I said, this is very good, must be due. And I was an average student in high school. Average student. Sai was the topper, Rajiv was the middle, and I was bringing up the rear as the caboose. In the admissions counselor's room, I saw an image of Bhagwan. I'm 17 years old. I also got admission into Hanuman, which is in Philadelphia. I told Mommy, Papa, they're like, go to Hanuman, it's so close by, you can have Khana Wana, you can be here close. I said, I saw an image of Bhagwan, I have to go. And so that started my journey in Hampton Roads. Now, Hampton Roads is amazing. If you click on it, as soon as I arrived in August, in 1 month, the mandir burned down. I'm sure they must be thinking, what sort of vibrations did you bring from New Jersey? But bhajans moved to Old Dominion University. My roommate's mother introduced me to Yashoda and Ravi Mokamla. Some of you may be knowing who they are. They were my parents in Hampton Roads for 13 years. I came as a boy and I left as a young man with a career. And for 13 years, they took care of me. 13 years. Every time I go to bhajans, Kana would come home with me. Next slide. And then when we started our center, in fact, Ravi uncle was not even a devotee then. He would not sit for bhajans. We had 4 people in our bhajan mandali. I was one of the 4. And because I was from Homedale and New Jersey, they're like, oh, he must know something good. He's part of the inner crew. So any activity, I was a part of. By the time I left, we had over 100 people in our center. Now, 1997, I received love of a lifetime. Remember, I've never shared this, so I explained to you. It was the first youth conference in Puttaparthi, and I spent nearly 3 months in Parthi. And my God, it was a game-changing year for me. If you click on the next slide, we had the opportunity to touch his physical form several times over. And if you click on the next pictures, insert, there's this picture is taken with me at the harmonium. Now, I play dholak, remember, I'm a dholak player. Sairam plays harmonium. And there's, you can see next to me is Sai Kiran Murthy. I don't know if you recognize some of the young adults that you may have seen in our region, right? You can see, yeah, Shiv Kumar is there. You can see Sampath Medapalli there. There's a bunch of us who are there. As luck would have it, all of the quote-unquote best singers ended up leaving early. And Michael Goldstein came and said, Swami wants you to sing 9 songs. And I said, my God, who's gonna play? What's gonna happen? You're playing. Now remember, I'm a dholak person, not a harmonium person. With God's infinite grace, if you click the next slide, in front of where the tiger head is, was my harmonium. And we sang 9 songs for Bhagwan in our bhajan. Unbelievable just to see his face in bhajan. You know, it's hard to describe for those who haven't seen, especially the youngsters amongst us who are going. It's like the taste of chocolate or a taste of laddu. When you feel, you can describe it, but until you don't taste it, you don't know. That's the taste that we saw and we felt. Next slide. This, people may not recognize what this is. This is very close to where Sai Gita used to be. 1997, there was hospital construction going on. Alaya Ram from the Bhakti Singers received multiple interviews, and in those interviews, Swami showed him different forms, including Ganesha. And of course, Alaya would come back to us and say, Swami showed me Ganesha. And we're like, what? True form. So we found out from Alaya that Swami would be going to the hospital for construction. So we would plant ourselves. There used to be a speed breaker, 2 speed breakers. And we'd plant ourselves and then wait for Swami's car, the whistle, get blessings, run to the next speed breaker, and his car has to stop. So he'll give blessings. This went on for 3 or 4 days. And then came the gentle child. Tell the boys to stop running, they may get hurt. And all of us, instead of feeling awe, we're like, yes, Swami yelled at us. He took time out of his so much busy schedule to yell at us. 97 was an unbelievable time. I came back ready for medical school. And then I met this gentleman. And in my first year of medical school, not focused, coming off the divine, oh yeah, this is a wonderful time, Swami's with me, I'm doing great. 0.5 percentage points, I failed my first year. And for those youngsters amongst us, now when you look at Mummy and Papa, they're like, oh, they're so loving, you know. They were like John McEnroe and Yvonne Lendl. Prack, prack, prack. It was a tough lesson. He's the chief of trauma at Centurion Norfolk General Hospital. He would be one of my biggest mentors. And imagine, some years later in India, at the World Trauma Congress, Len Weyrider, who I used to call Dr. Weyrider, said, it's time that you start calling me Len. Full circle. Next slide. So, after my failure, Mummy Papa said, all your friends are going for skiing, you're doing Domino's delivery. So that's me doing Domino's delivery. Of course, my one delivery was Kamatanko, who used to live here in Morganville. My first delivery. So I go there and he's like, Beta? I was like, Uncle? And so it's, come in. So I said, okay, Shairam, I'll come in. 15 minutes, 20 minutes later, having some of their pizza also. They give me $20. My pizza was $12. I'm like, Sairam. They're like, why? This guy ate our pizza. He's not giving us any change. And then I went happily back 45 minutes later to the Domino's. My boss came and said, where did you go? I said, oh, my uncle was the pizza. I said, no problem, you're fired. 1997, I'm a third-year student. These are my Tauji and my Taiji, my papa's older brother. They were traveling from Lucknow to Bareilly. We're from UP, Uttar Pradesh. And they were met with this. My uncle was taken alive to my own family hospital. My aunts died on the scene. My aunt's brother was a general surgeon. His eye couldn't see what his mind didn't know, knowledge gap. To this day, I believe that had a trauma surgeon been there, they could have been alive. That then motivated me to do surgery. I said, I gotta do surgery. And so, in the summer of my, next slide, in my summer of my first year, my repeat year, I met Dr. Wilkes Hubbard. He took me under his wing, thoracic. He learned and taught me the art of bedside medicine. One of the most loving humans and excellent surgeons. So I was very happy. Next slide. Now, as I got my evaluation, I was very close to Dr. Hubbard. Dr. Hubbard liked me, I liked him. My chief resident didn't like the fact that I liked Dr. Hubbard, nor did she like the fact that he liked me. So on my evaluation, they wrote this. Testing, Swami testing. Obviously read in my formal evaluation is a brown nose. I said, my God, why would you write this in a formal evaluation? I'm thinking about doing surgery. She goes, I'm not changing it. So I sheepishly went to the most powerful man at that time, who never left Hampton Roads, one of the most powerful men in American surgery. He listened to his mom, reminded me of the story of Swami, right? He never left Hampton Roads. He went to UVA, Harvard Med, Harvard Public School of Public Health. He saw my evaluation, ripped it, and said, Dr. Narayan, there's only, I was a student at that time. I had failed 1 year. He said, Dr. Narayan, there's only one person at this institution who decides which students will do surgery and which won't. That's me. He put his hand around my shoulder, and it's never left. And this was taken just a few years ago. So I told Mummy, Papa, I'm doing trauma. Well, Ravana comes to mind, right? So Ravana used to always say, Mara, 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 right? Turn into Rama, 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 Rama. So I tried to convince Mummy and Papa that, listen, trauma has the word Rama in it. Right? So they were like, trauma, Rama, must be very good. I'll buy it. So started my trauma journey. And it's been an unbelievable roller coaster. Let me take you through why. Next slide. So my journey took me to the Shock Trauma Center. And this is an important concept. It's the busiest trauma center in the world. Look at their motto, where life is on the line. One life, one trauma team, we're going to save you. I did an MPH and an MBA at Johns Hopkins. Number one school of public health in the world, Swami's Grace. Swami's Grace. No MCAT. No GRE. No GMAT. I'm doing my MBA at Johns Hopkins Carey Business School. Look at how Swami sends a messenger. I'm in my pink scrubs, I just operated all night. I'm falling asleep in class. An Asian lady comes to me and says, Mayur, you're obviously a surgeon. I'm a surgeon too. I left surgery because I was treated so poorly. I said, okay, thank you for sharing that. And she asked me, what's your concentration? I said, ma'am, I don't know my concentration. She goes, it's 11 months program and 1 month is already over. You need to pick your concentration. I said, I don't know. She goes, well, have you heard of the NPH MBA? I said, what NPH MBA? She walked me to the dean's office. They did an on-the-spot interview, and he said, sir, we would love to have you. He's addressing me as sir. I said, my God, what are you, the dean of the business school? And so that started my journey for my NPH MBA. Swami was kind, I loved to teach. I learned that from my grandfather as a principal, and so teaching is in our blood. That led me to win 2 Golden Apple teaching awards, which at a very young age, I knew nothing about educational theory. And so the journey took me to that school in Boston, right, where I did my master's in education. Next slide. But I knew this was a crisis. Anybody know Cyrus Mystery?
Yeah, TTCS.
Where did he die?
Mumbai, Pune highway.
Died on the road.
Yeah.
On the road. One of the richest people in the world. But take a look. Next slide. This is the problem. This is the problem. This is the problem. And on and on. Next slide. Now, people think this is uncivilized. But yeah, if this is the only bus that can get you to your job, you have to go and be uncivilized, right? Look at the next slide. If you go back one, in the middle. No, there. Maybe that bus has just a few extra children on it, right? This is a crisis. 1 motorcycle, 5 people. These are the public health issues that are going through my mind. Next slide. And I don't need to give you the facts. It's the leading cause of death between ages 1 and 44. Next slide. We are the most civilized country in the world. Yet look at what we have to deal with. I've said it around the world that when we tolerated children dying with the gunshot massacre, we just had another 8 kids die in New Orleans. It's my trauma center that sees these injuries. We have a crisis on our hands, and we can shed all the tears we want. But until we don't make a stand, we will continue this pattern. Next slide. So, shock for the students in the room. There's a golden hour of death. If you don't intervene, your chances of dying are much more. I want you to remember that. Next slide. And if you look, the longer you wait, the less chances you have of survival. No surprise. Next slide. So, everybody knows Narayan Seva. I grew up, thank you, Sana. I grew up doing Narayan Seva at Asbury Park. Anybody been to Asbury Park? Nathan, right? So that's where I grew up doing it. We played basketball afterwards and ate the sandwiches. But my name is Mayur Narayan. I was like, wait a minute. Mayur Narayan must do Seva. I must adopt to save a life. And so save a life to save a life. This is the chain of survival. I'm going to give you examples of where we've influenced and how Swami is given the opportunity to do some amazing things in this field. This is injury prevention. The best patient is the one we never need to see. Everybody agree? Don't develop the problem, don't need a doctor. So, the next slide. So I founded this center with Bhagwan's grace. He planted the seed. As a very young faculty in my first year of practice, I said to my boss, we do injury prevention, we need a center. And so I named it CIPP. Now, talk about I am nothing. When you look at the website, 2011 CIPP was formed, no name to be found. And that's perfect because that's the way Swami wanted it. Next slide. The engineering, education, enforcement, emergency response. Next slide. So we created, one of the first things we did was create a video on texting and drive. How many of you text and drive? At least there's some honest person here. Let's see it. Everybody, raise your hands nice and wide. I'm sorry. The ladies, none of you all have said you raised your hands. Do you text and drive?
I don't.
I knew it. Thank you for being honest. So this video, take a look. The lady is texting. She crashes into the pole. The front passenger has a pole, a wooden pole that goes through her mouth. The driver dies. Jaws of life are opened. And it's shot from the rear view passenger. She's screaming throughout. This was created free of cost. Maryland State Police, Maryland State Police Aviation Command, firefighters, actors, the whole production, 17-minute video. And if you move forward, we presented it as mandatory viewing for all new drivers in the state of Maryland, 2011. Fast forward to 2025. A family from Africa has just moved to Maryland, and one of my friends said, please take care of them. So I said, okay, I'll stop by. From New Jersey, I stopped by their house, is everything okay? He goes, sir, you won't believe this. I said, what happened? I saw you on TV. I said, what do you mean you saw me on TV? I live in New Jersey. She goes, no, I saw your driving ed video. They're still showing it today for all new drivers. Yes. So the Center for Injury Prevention, with Swami's grace, people from the UK came and they set up their own injury prevention clinics. Swami giving impact. Next slide. Now, you can't see the top slide, but this is the approach to trauma care. This is what I do every day. Swami says, first do no harm, right? So do no further harm. Next slide. Let's move forward. Bystander training. How many of you have taken this course called Stop the Bleed? I'm so proud of you. Very good. Stop the Bleed is a basic course that each one of you should learn, and we'd be happy to teach it to you for free. Next slide. So by the time you call 911, how long does it take? It depends on where you are. Right? My thesis for my MPH MBA was on India's response. My God, I was sitting in the ambulance saying, Hato, Hato, and the guys, they're stuck in traffic, the people are waving at you. So the ambulance, India's ambulance is not very loud. 45 minutes we sat in traffic and the patient's in the back. This is what it is, 3 steps. How to hold pressure, how to pack a wound, and how to apply a tourniquet. Next slide. So, the first time that I launched this in India was in Puttaparthi, at the General Hospital and at the Super Specialty Hospital. Next slide. This is the certificate. You can see New York Trauma Team. This is when I was at Cornell, Sri Sathya Sai General Hospital, Prashantalayam. Next, and I'm there with Dr. Kampalata Guntapalli. Do any of you know who she is? Today is Aradhana Day, right? Dr. Hi, Sarah. Yeah, Dr. Guntapalli.
Yeah, we know Dr. Gupta.
You do, right? She was the one who was asked to come in as an expert from Houston to certify that in fact Swami had left his physical form. Dr. G, as she's effectively known, one of the most preeminent pulmonary critical care doctors in the country. She asked me to come accompany her for both critical care training at the General Hospital and then in the Super Specialty Hospital. And this is my team. I took some students and I took my fellow from Texas, and we're at the Super Specialty Hospital. We're training people how to do Stop the Bleed, because every person should know. Every Indian citizen, every US citizen. Next slide. So you can go through, and this is me teaching them. Next slide. Everybody here should know. And with Swami's grace, we were able to do that in Bangalore as well. And in fact, the program was blessed by Bhagwan himself. Right, with the next slide. So Stop the Bleed and Save a Life. Next slide. We gave kits out. This is in Uttar Pradesh. This is in Uttar Pradesh. And now we organized, this is us organizing a marathon in Chennai with 5,000 people who came and ran. And we taught all of them how to do Stop the Bleed. Next slide. This is us. Now, in fact, the funny story is, I was also ready to run. No laughing young students. But they said, I'm sorry, you have breakfast. I was like, what? I came in my shorts ready to go. They said, no, you don't run. You have some breakfast. Let everybody else run. So I thought that was pretty funny. These are my students here teaching how to do this. We've trained over 50,000 police officers now in India. Next slide. Next slide. Earthquake. This is Haiti earthquake. Next slide. I was team 7. Bhagwan sent us down to help. If you look at the images from the hospital, next slide, this is what we saw in Haiti. This was the hospital that we were going to work at. It's completely devastated. This is our team operating in tents. And this is me and my boss, Dr. Tom Scalea, the head of the shock trauma team. Next slide. China suffered an earthquake. And we were asked to go to China to help them in there. So I've been visiting professor there now 8 or 9 times with Swami's grace, before COVID, of course, but to teach them how to do trauma care. Next slide. And of course, there's a cultural exchange as you get to know them. So what about pre-hospital? The right patient at the right place at the right time. Next slide. This is me in Maryland. We got a chance to fly, and that came in handy because India's first hospital is AIMS Rishikesh. Anybody been to Rishikesh? Yeah. Okay, we're going to share a Rishikesh, very special story about Rishikesh. So I've been now a medical advisor for their first helicopter ambulance services. Next slide. And we've taught trauma life support in Rishikesh, and we did World Trauma Week with them. And we've gotten the support of the chief minister there and the lieutenant governor to do our trauma work. Next slide. Now, how many people have visited the Divine Life Society? Swami Shivananda. Okay. Beautiful place. Next slide. So, okay, this is him. We went there. How many people have been to the Vashishta Gufa? This is a very special story. I went with my team. Lisa is with me here. Lisa Falcone, raise your hand, please. Divya Kilramani, raise your hand. They accompanied me. This is my trauma team members. And in this ashram, after we meditated, I had read a book a long time ago talking about Sathya Sai Baba went there. And I asked the head of this helicopter, hey man, do you know where Swami went? He's like, sir, I don't know. But I'll take you to a very special place. Just hold this picture for a second. I'll take you to a very special place, right? Very special place. But I've been doing seva since I'm a little boy. I don't know your guru. In this room, out of the corner of my eye, this has just happened 3 years ago. So when I was 16, I read that book. You see the small picture in the top right-hand corner. Next slide. I see this. And I start tearing up right now. And the story, the next slide, is so beautiful that Sathya Sai Baba visited Swami Purushothamananda at the Vashishta Guha near Rishikesh. He went down the same steps that we took. He went inside the cave where we meditated, and he materialized a japamala and granted him a special vision. And there was a very spiritual connection there. So those of you who go to Rishikesh, I urge you, go. It's an unbelievable place. The vibrations in that cave are phenomenal. Next slide. And this is our Rishikesh team doing trauma training. Next slide. So, this Save a Life concept advances with me further. Next slide. In fact, I'm on the global advisory board for this NGO, also called Save Life Foundation. Have any of you heard of Save Life Foundation? Have any of you all traveled to India? You should know about Save Life Foundation. I'll tell you why. Next slide. So India's roads, Mumbai-Pune Expressway, you told me, the fatality is the highest death highway in India. Through our work together, this is Piyush Tiwari. His nephew, look at the work that we're doing. His nephew got hit by a school bus or a truck, and he crawled himself to a bottom of a tree in Kanpur. No less than 2,000 people crossed that kid, and not one person helped, out of fear of criminal and civil liability. Piyush was devastated, left his 6-figure paying job in the US and created Save Life Foundation. Sued the Indian government in the Supreme Court, and hence the Good Samaritan law offering protections to all Indian citizens was passed. The power of one person can make a difference. He's done it. So this is their headquarters, and if you look at the reduction, 60% reduction in traffic injuries based on that highway alone with the work that he's doing. Next slide. So that's how India got its Good Samaritan law. I was able to join him in 2024. They won the Skoll World Foundation Award. It's like the Nobel Prize for NGOs. It was a $2 million award. It was Swami's grace. The work that we're doing with this organization is saving lives every day. We are now getting ready to sue the government with the government's permission to a right to Emergency and Trauma Care Act that every Indian citizen cannot be denied by a hospital. So that is going to affect hopefully the lives of 1.4 billion people. That's the advocacy work we're doing today. Next slide. So finally at the hospital level, next slide. This is us. I'm the editor for this course called Team. It's my vision that every student around the world should know the basics of trauma care. That's my seva in this lifetime. And that's what we're pushing for. So we've launched it already in India. I got a chance. Most people don't say India and Pakistan together, but Swami took me to Karachi, right? Took me to Aga Khan University, and I was like, Swami, please be with me. Don't bring me to you a little bit sooner than needed. Because people are very interesting. Say, trauma, what do? Are you in the emergency room? Ankle fracture? I said, listen, those people who are trying to meet Swami, in that fashion, I delay their meeting. Most people are trying to help you meet Swami. I'm delaying the meeting. So I don't know what punya I'm going to get, but we are designed to delay. And so this is the work that we're doing in India with Swami's direct blessings. We've launched it all over the globe, and we're going to continue to do so. And my team has just been, take a look at what we're doing in UP alone. This is coming up with the blessings of Chief Minister Yogiji, who we met recently, and he's supportive of getting this across to 65 medical schools, 279 nursing schools, and 16 dental schools. That work is happening now. Next slide. And so this person, who's a failure, who's a nobody, who's been gifted in order to do this, I got a chance to give the national oration in trauma in 2024, in the same city where my Tauji and Taiji died in Lucknow. And we launched the trauma team course with my trauma team to make sure that their legacy lived on. Next slide. Next slide. This is access. If we go back a second, Dr. Divya Kevaramani, who's here, one more slide forward. No, forward. There you go. You can't really tell the colors, but if you notice the I in access, and if you notice the key hole of access, it's Bhagwan. We did that on purpose. We're creating a company now called Access, and we're going to develop the world's surgical site infection model using AI, and it's happening now. And so we just launched our logo. With Swami's grace, and blessings, we hope that it will be successful so we can prevent infections from happening before they occur. Next slide. So, Bala uncle, my dear Sairam's dad, got an interview, and so he said, Swami, thank you so much for saving my life. And said, you think that's the only time I saved your life? And that resonated with me. Let me tell you the story. That's our Honda Accord, Mummy Papa, 1984. That's a Sundar. You guys remember the Sundaram cassette tape? Anybody remember those tapes? You can't forget them, right? Rajiv and I were coming from an Akhand Ramayan in Howell, Tom's River area, and we were met with this head-on collision in the left. The Sundaram tape stuck on the windshield, and we walked out without a scratch on our body. This is my Hyundai Excel, the Domino's one that you saw earlier. Anybody know what that structure is on the right? It's the Delaware Memorial Bridge. I'm driving from Howell to Norfolk. That's a 4-hour, I'll show you. It's a 4-hour, if you click on it. My radiator blew on that bridge. And that time, no cell phone, I'm excited, I said Sairam the whole way if you go back 4 hours down, and it died in the parking lot of my apartment. How His grace has been there. I fell asleep at the wheel after being on call for 36 hours on October 11th. And that was my car that you see if you go back one. That's my car. I walked out without a scratch on my body, and I was directing traffic, and you could imagine my wife and father-in-law were like, what are you doing? Go back into the hospital. And they took me to the hospital, and right now I'm smiling because they're offering to do some invasive testing that I did not want at that time, and they captured this picture. This is us launching team in November. I was on a Qatar flight, and I got admitted to the ICU. I was very, very sick. I was supposed to launch the course at 9 a.m., yet from 12 to 6 in the morning, nonstop vomiting. I'm sitting getting IV fluids. I'm just scrolling through my phone saying, Swami, you gotta help me here. This is the team that took care of me. And this picture comes out of the middle of nowhere. Each one of you has been there. And he did take care of me. I was able to stand, and at 9 o'clock, we launched this course. Now, this picture is very funny. For those of you who know me, I'm a stickler for dress. I expect my students to be everything. I'm wearing jeans in this shirt, somebody else's blazer. And if you zoom in, my IV is still in my hand. So they shot this picture, and I didn't know it was going to go to the media, and I saw this in the news. I said, my God, Swami, why would you? Reducing ego. The work is done. Next slide. Now, Fort Lee Home and the mayor. This is Mayor Sokolich. Keep going. Keep going. Now, we put our down payment down in this house. Somebody else got it. Now, in Fort Lee, Vastu specific, we made that mistake in Dallas. Panditji did the Grihastha Puja. He said, thank you, beautiful home. You can't stay in the master bedroom. We said, what? It doesn't line up, Vastu. So he said, sorry. So we had to sleep in the guest room. So this time he said, my God, we have to make sure everything is proper. This second house, the mayor lost the check. He's also a real estate agent. Imagine you're giving a down payment. He lost the check. And the way he talks is so funny. He's like, hey, Doc, I don't know what happened to your money. I'm like, what kind of mayor are you? So he's going to all these Korean places where he thought he left the check. And instead he's telling us that all the Korean people want to take selfies with him. It's like, oh, Mayor Sokolichi, Mayor Sokolichi. I'm like, yeah, but yeah, don't tell me about Mayor Sokolichi. Where's my money? He finally found it. Then the home, if you look at the backyard, there's no backyard. Mummy said this is not a good home. The homeowner couldn't get out of their loan. 4 months went by, and that home also fell through. And we had to leave our home because we were renting it. Swami's grace, 1026, we were able to move into this home. Next slide. We felt very happy. This is my son Vikram and my wife Marathi. And we have a mandir downstairs and everything is going well. This is Mummy doing puja in our basement, if you go back, in our basement, right? This is in the northeast corner, Swami's chair is in the northeast corner. Everything is good. Except September 1, 2021, rain starts. And I'm like, man, this looks like a little bit more rain than usual. Next slide. Next slide. This is the street now. It was looking like an ocean. Now, if you stop right there, I had bought this small water alarm from Amazon. I said, you know, today is a good day. Let me put it in the basement. So I put it nicely on the in next to the sambam, and I did sayam, and I hear. I'm like, oh my God! We had a door going up into the basement, from the basement upstairs to the pool area. Within 1 second, the door blew open. Gush of water. Of course, the alarm's like, bee! I'm like, obey alarm. Obviously, I know that it's flood is coming in. And within 5 minutes, it's up to my armpits. And I'm like, we're Fort Lee, which is, guys, a mile above the Hudson River. I'm like, how is it that I started laughing. I looked at Swami's picture. Look at this. These are true. This is from our mandir. Next slide. This used to be our library. And look at all the saman. Next picture. Everything was destroyed. All books in one swell. All my books, every collection, all gone. Harmonium, everything, dada bye bye. Next slide. So we had to move out of our home. And we moved into our in-laws' home. The night before we moved back, I had this dream where there's 24-foot velvet curtains, there's 20,000 people on the ground, and he says this quote to me in that dream. Wherever you are, I am with you. And that applies to each one of us. You don't know it, but he is. He's with us. Next slide. Now, my hands, his healing. Next slide. Perforated appendicitis. Anybody heard of appendicitis? It's a very minor scenario, except when it's not. And in this case, a bomb went off. Now, you have to be careful who you're treating. You must always approach with kindness. So I took care of this lady and her husband. Her husband's in the ICU. And if you look at the next line, I walked in every day, she's like, listen, my husband, what's gonna happen to him? He was intubated, open abdomen. So I said, go back. I said, please. I said, your mind is like a monkey, right? Teaching, Swami's teaching. Let's rest today. Little did I know, both of them are editors of the Dallas Morning News. So a week later, I'm reading the paper, I'm like, oh my God, they said, this is what our surgeon said. I said, my God, I hope they don't report me. But they actually told the whole story from the lens of how helpful that commentary was to put their mind on one branch. Next slide. This happened recently, this year. Lisa knows this case. 16-year-old kid who was stabbed in the heart. On Tuesday nights, I don't force forward yet. On Tuesday nights, I go back. I live in Fort Lee, New Jersey. My hospital is in New Brunswick, right? Robert Wood Johnson Hospital. It's 11:30 at night, and I say, you know, sweetheart, I should go to the hospital. She's like, look, it's 11:30 at night. Why don't you just sleep here and leave in the morning? You wake up 3:45 anyhow. I said, no, I should go. I go to the hospital, and as I'm pulling into my apartment garage, I just said, let me call my team. So let me put this thought, let me call my team. I called my team. My emergency general surgery director, who I appointed, said, boss, you have to come. There's a stab wound, 16-year-old kid. They put ultrasound on his heart. It's full of blood. It's called pericardial tamponade, which is a surgical emergency. If you don't fix that problem, that kid dies. I said, don't worry, I'll be right there. I said, have you ever done a median sternotomy? Somebody here told me they got a recent sternotomy, a cabbage done recently at Robert Wood Johnson, and you've done well, so thank you for sharing that with me. So this is what we had to do. We took this kid, next slide, we opened his chest. That's a picture, the next picture, that's a picture of somebody's heart. Somebody told me, do you touch people's hearts? This is what we did. And then his heart stopped. I massaged him. I shocked him. 16 years old. And finally I said, Sairam, Sairam, Sairam. And the heart came back. Now, just like your response, the people who I'm walking out of the operating room, they gave me a standing ovation. You know what I'm thinking? if you only knew who the heal. I said, I just feel so, you know, almost so humbled, right? My hands were there, undoubtedly. But that kid died. And there's no human power, none. The more I do this work, the more I see this day in and day out, the more humble you become. Because you realize how much his hand is there, how much the grace is there. And so when people applaud, you just look away and just say this because you know that our hands are there, but it's he who's doing the healing. Next slide. And this is him. If we go back, we're basically celebrating him on May 20th, and I want to invite all of you. I'm going to give you a flyer. It's May 20th. It's a Wednesday, especially for the youngsters. I have a 5-year-old who was shot, who we saved, and a 16-year-old, this kid, who's back in high school, is going to graduate. So we're celebrating them on May 20th. You're all invited to come as we plan this celebration at Robert Johnson University Hospital. How Swami does this. Marthi is traveling, my wife is a lawyer, traveling to India on business with 2 ambassadors, Ambassador Singh and Ambassador Burns. Ambassador Burns, you may know the name. This is with the Cohen group, right? The Cohen was part of the ambassador to the, I think one of the ambassadors when Bush was in President Bush or President Reagan. The Cohen group. So she's traveling and she's waiting on visa. My nanny gets her visa, Marthi gets her visa. I'm going to Chicago, she's going to Bombay. 30 minutes, Vikram's visa, my son's visa, still hasn't come. She's getting panicked. She goes to the agent and says, hey, if your visa doesn't come in next 5 minutes, gate's closed. So she's panicking. She calls the ambassador. The ambassador calls the ministry. And the ministry says, this visa has been issued already. But it must be in the ether. We can't do anything about it. He said, what's the number? So we don't know the number. Within 5 minutes, a new agent comes. And Marthi says, please, can you help me? I see that you're stressed. What's the problem? Lisa, she goes, let me type the number. This random person types in the number. He said, look, it's right here. He goes, I will walk you to the gate, took them through security. Now keep that picture up for a second. Took them to security and dropped her at the front of the plane. And she said, thank you so much for people. God bless you for people like you. And he goes, that's all I need to hear. As we're flying back, again, I'm scrolling through WhatsApp. This image comes to the phone. Another subtle reminder that his hand is always, always there, and he's always with you. Next slide. That journey takes me to the White House, right? Doing all this training. Of course, this is a funny story. Mommy, Papa, I said, Mommy, Papa, I'm going to see President Obama. They gave me this Physician to the Medal, and we're running to see President Obama. He's running to be on Marine One. So my team, the medical team of the White House, is running, 15 of us. We miss him, he already hops on Marine One, no President Obama. So then they said, listen, you came so far, we gave you a Physician to the President Medal. Why don't you take a picture with 2 special people? I'm like, okay, maybe it's his wife and dog. No, Sunny and Bo, the 2 dogs. So I take this picture of the White House in the background, and I send it to Mommy. And she's like, Jeetara Bacha, you made it. I'm like, oh, great. Not the picture that I wanted, but we did get a special tour afterwards, and they took care of us. We're doing a lot of training with the military, and this is the last 2 slides, I think. Next slide. Swami is with you. This is just in Jipmer. Anybody been to Pondicherry before? I was just there in Pondicherry at Jipmer as visiting professor. And if you go back one, that's MC Mishra, former director AIMS, and the father of trauma in India. Every time I go to India, he knows I love Rasgulla. And then AIMS Gadi, Lal Batti, takes me for Rasgulla in Delhi. So we have been partners for 20 years now. And if you look at the next slide, we're standing outside here, right? It's what you see. He's there, next slide. He's always there. It's the question of, is your mind ready to receive him? कहते हैं हिंदी में हर कोने में, every nook and corner, every action, he's there. And that love and that uplift me, it's been the journey for me in my life thus far. Next slide. And the latest episode is unbelievable. Again, I'm in Bangalore, I'm in Puttaparthi for 1.5 days, folks. And it was my dream to be in Parthi for his birthday, just to get darshan on Swami's birthday. Look at how the monkey mind unfolds. This is Lingam Uncle. Anybody know who he is? V.K. Lingam, one of the most famous law partners of Malaysia, and was very instrumental through Swami in the Chennai water project. His pictures with him, Swami, and Vincent Tan in the plane together, just watching so we became friends since 2008. His daughters and I studied together at Johns Hopkins together. Next slide. Now, this is my dear brother. He knows that I'm going there. He said, Mayur, please call me on the 23rd. Now, my uncle is Kumar Bhaskar Vachirla. Some of you may be knowing Professor Kumar Bhaskar. He's a longtime faculty member at the School of Management in Puttaparthi. I'm at his house. His son Pavan is also visiting. And Pavan's like, what is there in the stadium? He's a student, former student. He's like, I'm not going. I'm like, I came all this way. And of course, Lingam Uncle meets me for tea and says, no, we won't go to the stadium. We'll just watch here. His text messages come. What are you doing? Meet us at the stadium. True story. Meet us at the stadium. I'm frantically trying to send a text message, no reception. So I take a screenshot of that. I said, Manohar Bhai is going to yell at me that I didn't come, so I better take a screenshot, said no reception. At 8:30, we watched the entire birthday celebrations from the mandir. And it started to rain actually that time. So we watched it, and then when they opened the Samadhi at that time, my wish was fulfilled because I was able to receive darshan on Swami's birthday, right? So then I'm going home at 10 o'clock, another text message guy, and I told my uncle, I'm leaving tomorrow to Bangalore, I must go 9:30 to 11 o'clock. I'll just come for breakfast at your home and then we'll go to Bangalore, because I had to go to Mumbai for the trauma conference that I had to speak at. Text messages come from Manohar Bhai at 10:30 at night. Hey, what are you doing tomorrow morning? Come to our house. I said, chalo, I'll go for coffee. I'll still be able to make it to my uncle's place. Right? Thinking I'm totally content. Next slide. So we're at his house for coffee. Unbeknownst, I'm so busy in my work, I had no idea, none, that the New Jersey group was actually presenting this proclamation, that you all were there doing, unbeknownst to me. I said, oh, that's very good, very nice, Phil Murphy, it's very, very good. He said, no, you have to be a part of this group. I said, yeah, I said, no, you're coming, you won't take no for an answer. So I sit with the group that's about, you guys were there. And the security person, I don't know who the head of security is, he said, we'll move you closer, and bhajans will start, then you go take darshan, present. And look at the monkey mind unfold. He invites 4 of the people forward, and he says, so I said, no problem, I'm happy where I am, it's okay. Swami's telling you, don't be too much with ego, you sit tight, you weren't supposed to be here in the first place. Bhajan started, these 4 you all got up and presented, that same security guard said, come. And if you go to the next slide, he handed me a rose to present. In those 24 hours, I'll never forget this. Whenever you were the instrument, I happened to be there. And of course, my friends from Dallas, called me and said, Mayur, I'm just on my way back to Bangalore. He says, Mayur, where are you? I'm like, why? He's like, I could have sworn I saw your face on the screen in Puttaparthi. I'm like, you won't believe this. And he was a half an hour ahead of me. He's like, I can't believe you got this opportunity. I said, this is how Swami works. Next slide. So the last slide, an invitation for you all. It's been an unbelievable journey for me, knowing we're the least deserving person starting. And for the youngsters in the room, just remember a few lessons that I'm going to leave with you. It's not where you start. You're as good as the last place you finish. You have all the talent in the world. Let Bhagwan guide you. Challenges are going to come. That's why I gave you this talk in particular. Somebody, perfect. No. It's that grit and determination when it comes when the tough times are there that defines who you are. And that's when you need to anchor to Bhagwan, to give you that strength. Full attachment to the process, no attachment to the result. I live that every day. How? I give it my all in bed one. That patient dies. I have to smile and love in bed two, without any attachment to my loss in bed one. That's what trauma does. Nobody walks out saying, I'm going to be a trauma patient. And unlike disease, which is a stepwise progression, trauma, your life is fine, and down it goes, down it goes. And I've lived this journey. That's the blessing. That's the mission that he's put me on, to serve in this regard. And to do it, it's not just what you do. For the students in the room, I want you to remember this. It's not just what. The what is the bottom, is the absolute floor. It's how you do it. And not when the cameras are flashing. It's when nobody's around that determines that. So that's the challenge that I'm going to leave you guys with. And if I can help any of you, that includes family. When I took this job at Rutgers, I didn't look for this job. They called me. I never thought in a million years, they can ask Mommy and Papa, that I'd move back to New Jersey. I went to Maryland and Texas and New York. I never thought I would come back, and here I am at Rutgers, Robert Johnson. I knew all the auntie uncles that I grew up with, right, would be calling, and actually it's been that's my seva. We've helped so many now in the difficult process of old age, through death, being at their funerals, supporting, because it's that lending support. And so if I can help any one of you, at any time, whether you're a student or you're here, Manarabai has my number. Consider me like your own family. If I can help you, yours, you don't hesitate to ask. This is the last thing I'll share with you. We're putting together 67 trauma centers from all of New Jersey, all of New York, and all of Connecticut, just to commemorate the 9/11 memorial. We're doing this September 9th. All are coming together in a unified fashion. The governors of all 3 states have been invited, the mayors of New York and New Jersey, to recognize, and TEAMS is an acronym, Trauma, Emergency, Anesthesia, EMS. We're doing it under unity without any ego. So with that, and Swami's divine blessings, I hope if there's any shortcoming in my talk, you forgive me. But this is an important last phrase. It didn't come out, but you can see it. Each one of us has 2 dates. A birth date and an expiry date. Each one of us has a small dash in between those numbers. Make your dash count. Jai Saram.
That was an entrancing speech. Thank you.
Absolutely, I agree with Auntie. Are there any questions that any of the children have? There is I'm sure a lot of students here interested in the medical field. Please, if there are any questions, you can take the mic.
Don't be shy. You can ask me anything. No question is a bad one. Not shy people. Okay.
No, I'm sure.
I'll start.
Please.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. I understand that you're taking a lot of initiatives to help the community, and we have a very big Seva team from Sai Center. So, how can we help you in your initiative?
Yeah, it's a great question. The question was, how can we help? Because we obviously are built to do seva. You know, education. You may not be a medical provider, but the skills that we're teaching, stop the bleed, those are skills that any one of you can do. Which is why I asked the question, right? These youngsters can lead it up. So you can learn the skills. You can teach CPR. These are life-saving skills. Time-sensitive diseases require time-sensitive interventions, right? If you wait, you've lost that opportunity. So instead of being limited by knowledge, let your eyes see what your mind knows, not the other way around. So remove the frustration of attention. I wish I could have helped. Though I was there, I wish I could have done something. Remove that wish and replace it with knowledge. So you won't see me, likely off, because my seva is, where I'm going to be. My car is always at the hospital, right? Every police officer in the surrounding area knows that my car says trauma or shock, and they know that if there's somebody who's injured severely, my car will be there. So my job is to be there, but to give you the tools so that we can advance it in our community start. Then take it to a school. I'm taking it to my high school, Freehold Borough High School, through Lisa's help and others. So be the change agent. Bhagwan wants us to do that, right? You already are doing unbelievable work. Now amplify it and see how that one person changed 10, 100, 1,000, and you look at the ripple effect and how it's done. So I would say that don't feel like, oh, I'm not a doctor, I can't contribute, or be an agent of change through the basic skills that you can teach. Those basic skills are what's lacking. And that's why I said, I'm on a mission that with Bhagwan's grace, every student that graduates from medical school, dental school, nursing school on this planet, I want them to have basic trauma training. So, similarly, you can do something similar. I hope that answers a little bit.
No, thank you so much, sir. Definitely. Thank you, brother.
I have
So
one more
definitely love to take up your offer, and we have done in our center CPR training for our members. If that is something that you can offer, maybe it's a good start.
CPR and stop the bleeding.
Yeah, this is something we can definitely. We did it several years ago. We definitely would love to take advantage, and as many people can take advantage of that. Absolutely. I think there's another gentleman who has a question.
Sairam, I had a question. This is with regard to the physical and mental discipline that you need to inculcate as a surgeon to survive those 30-hour surgeries, one thing. And how do you get over the PTSD that occurs after seeing so much of blood and gore and things like that? Because just look at the image of the heart being opened up, right? It kind of gives us it brings about a very visceral reaction to those people who are used to working on computers the whole day. So how do you build the mental stamina to get over the phase of trauma, and how do you build the physical stamina to basically do those surgeries? And what is your regimen actually? How do you? Yep.
So my parents will tell you, I wake up at 3:45 and 4 every morning.
Okay.
I start my day. I try not to waste time because this is just a small slice of what I've told you,
Okay.
right? Because it's not me, it's Swami, right?
That's
The maturity when you get to do this, you start to think of it as Maya almost, right? If you look at, if I were to get bogged down by, my God, this person is then what happens there then, I will be unable to do the next thing I have to do. If I have 40 patients I'm seeing at night, 35 patients, I need to be able to, and then go home and put a smile on my face so that my kid or my wife or my parents, they don't know what's just happened for the past 24 hours. I've never told them. I never share that, oh, this person died, because what does it do for their environment, right? It gives them added tension. So I just smile. But that comes from Bhagwan. That is his gift, and that's his journey with me. I didn't even tell you that, so many times I said, what am I doing, right? I asked for gluteal compartment syndrome. Have you ever heard of that? Gluteal is your bone. Gluteal compartment syndrome, I typed it in at the shock trauma center. I had never done that case. You know what came up? Alal Hanumanji. In a full red form. I called Sairam right away. Of course, I gotta call Sairam. I'm like, Sai, you won't believe this. And he sends that information to you. He gives you that strength and confidence. My job is not to do it now anymore, because now, it takes mastery, right? To be able to love and bed one and move. My job now is to teach it.
Okay.
How do you teach the youngsters to do the same, if not better? So they're gonna love in bed one, right? They're gonna do it the way that Bhagwan would want them to do it. And I think that's what my journey is to teach them. But that comes with practice. So plus it, don't feel that, we're doing something great. This is our job, this is our calling. This is our seva, this is what Bhagwan expects of us. In any, medical discipline, his expectation is extremely high, right? When you're in his orbit, he expects it to be done a certain way, and we have to live with that every day. So I said full attachment to the process, right? I'm only upset with my team. My team will tell you, if the process wasn't right, I am not happy. Even with myself. Because then I know that there could have been room. But if I've done everything in my power, I said that to a girl who died because she was 9 months pregnant, 8 months pregnant. She hit a tractor trailer.
Okay.
She died. I opened her chest, massaged her heart, tried to deliver the baby. They both died. I went to the dead mom's dad, who was in the hospital. He's crying, of course, and I console him, and I said, I'm so sorry. I wish there was more that I could have done. Like it was yesterday. Yeah, me too. You own the burden, right? Because in their mind, you're there. You know that in your mind, he's there. And then you fight with him sometimes. Swami, but you know that at the end of the day, your hands are just there. Your hands have to be there to do. But he's the ultimate doer. And that's what gives you that consolation. I hope that answers your question.
One more question.
It is set up. Yes. Go ahead.
First, introduce yourself.
I'm Sathya.
That's right. That's easy.
Yeah. My question was, so based on your experience, right? Why do you think that, compared the trauma kits, right? First aid kits are widely used, widely available. Why do you think that trauma kits aren't as widely available? Is it just a lack of awareness, or would there be other factors?
That's a really good question. So trauma kits, for example, the tourniquets, they take a little skill to apply. Anybody remember the Boston Marathon?
Yeah. The bombing?
Boston Marathon. You don't have random, like in India, the subsidy guys coming along. There's no subsidy guy with tourniquets, right? Like tourniquet. There's nothing like that happened. So people did makeshift tourniquets. They took their belt off, took their shirt off, and they did tourniquets. Now we teach around the world that that's not really the best, but jugaad, right? Anybody know what you guys know what jugaad is, students?
Yeah.
You should. Harvard Business School teaches it. It's making the most impact with the least amount of effort and energy and dollars. So people had to be creative. So trauma kits, by and large, they take some skill. First aid kits are just for anybody. But what I'm trying to say is, if I can give people the knowledge, what happens if you're standing at a bus stop and a motorcyclist crashes in front of you? 99% of the people will run that way. 1% people were running towards the battle. You can be that person. Let me hold pressure. You saved that person's life. Just if I can teach the public how to hold direct pressure, right? Stop the bleed. You're now an instrument. So be an instrument, knowledge gap fill, use your hands. Okay?
I'll just take up brother's message, the reverse order. Nothing happens without a reason. Absolutely, I think there is a reason why Swami sent you to this region and to New Jersey. I'm pretty sure we'll be reaching out for many seva opportunities and medical camps and other things. So definitely love to Swami sent you for a reason. Definitely, thank you. Couple of pointers brother made in the talk. I'd like to just highlight. We all make so much effort to gain knowledge, gain skills, and become experts at things, right? Swami has guided us, when you use that skill or expertise or knowledge to help others, that's when it becomes seva. So that is, everybody has some skill natively, or you build the skill, so use that skill towards helping others. I think that's becomes seva. And I think it's a perfect example. Brother showed so many examples of how he used his skill
that he and the expertise and excellence that he has built in his own career to help others. And there is no perfect example of brothers' seva experiences other than how to apply practical application of Swami's teachings. So this is so apt. Again, Swami appropriately had you speak on this occasion, I believe. And personally, I am going to take up one thing. I'm probably going to, maybe I will be wife as a witness, stopping texting while running. There's one thing we can do. That's one thing definitely we can do. And that's great efforts on the Good Samaritan law. I think that's amazing. I know in the US we can take it for granted, but in India that is a great effort. I think the other message you gave us was, wherever you are, I'm with you. I mean, I think that is such a reassuring message. A lot of times even I've had experiences where we try to do a particular thing and then second or third or fourth time we say Sairam, and like even opening a jar, like, it's so tight, I mean, you cannot do it. And then you say, okay, 3 times you tried on your own, then say, okay, Sairam, and open it, opens up. Same thing, sometimes the car doesn't start, and then the 4th time you say Sairam and it starts. Okay, why didn't you do it the first time? So the ego comes in front of you, right? And so it is a very reminder that we always have to have that in our mind, that Swami is always with us. So those are all the very good messages. Thank you, brother. Again, let us give one more round of applause to brother. I request Manohar to, as a token of our love, share with
Can I say one word?
please. Feel free.
Sai Ram, everyone. Just to put things in perspective, my eldest daughter, Sridevi, met with a car accident about 6 months ago. Her car overturned. It was a terrible crash. I get a call at 12 in the morning at night. I rushed over there. It's an intersection on Durham Avenue and Talmadge. And I rushed there, car is overturned. They had to drag her out, cut the car open, great first responders. And she's in the ambulance. And she said, no, I'm fine, let me go. And she's gasping a little. And I said, you're not going anywhere, you're going to the hospital. The ambulance guy said, I think she's good, we checked her out. If there's a problem, you can come the next morning. I said, no, I insist. And then I put her mom on the line and I insisted that she go to the hospital. We went to RWJ because in my mind was Mayur, Dr. Mayur Narayan. I said, at least we know someone there. And we get there, and who comes in the ER? She had, by the way, 9 broken ribs. And you cannot tell, there were no injuries anywhere else. So we go in there, and suddenly this doctor comes in, and she says, she asked questions and all that. She didn't know who I was, I didn't know who she was. And it was Dr. Punjabi. She goes to the East Brunswick Center. And she was, I think, the chief that evening in the ER. And I asked her, and the minute I said Gandikota Manohar, she says, are you Bala's, are you related to Bala? I said, yes, she's my sister-in-law. And then I said, then we talked and all that, and she said, within minutes they did a CAT scan and they saw the injuries, because she had, from car accidents, the minute they see a belt mark, they will immediately do a CAT scan of the chest and all that, is what I found out. Then I said, is there any way you can reach Dr. Narayan? Yeah, no problem. I don't think he's on tonight. Lo and behold, he shows up in about, I think, an hour or so later with his team. And this is Swami's doing, 100%, to send Dr. Punjabi on that night, and me choosing coming here instead of St. Peter's, where I know the chief of critical care and pulmonary medicine. I said, no, we have to go to a level 1 trauma center, for anything. And then Dr. Narayan shows up. I was floored, really. I mean, this is a miracle, and we are ever so grateful to him and to Dr. Punjabi for the quick action. He sent his team the next morning. Everyone was super nice. Luckily, there's not much you can do unless I think if it comes apart. So the fracture took a while. It was very painful. And anyway, bottom line, we are very grateful. We are so fortunate. This is probably one of the finest talks I have ever heard. You know, it was amazing. Thank you. I'm grateful to his mother and father, really, for having a son like this and for their love that is.
प्रियतनया साई नारायणा साई नारायणा सत्य नारायणा
హృదయమునందు ప్రతిష్ఠింపజేసుకోవాలి.
We should install spirituality in our hearts.
ఇది చేసుకునేటువంటి విషయం కాదు.
It's not the one
ఒక అందించేటువంటి ప్రజెంట్ కాదు.
it cannot be gifted.
ఒక కంపెనీ సప్లై చేసేటువంటి పదార్థం కాదు.
It's not supplied by any company.
తన యందే ఉంటున్నది.
It lies in you.
సర్వదా పాణిపాదం తన యందే ప్రతిష్ఠ అయి ఉంటుండాలి.
It's installed in you.
కానీ దానిని సరైన రీతిలో మనం వినియోగించుకోవటం లేదు.
But you are not making proper use.
ఈ తత్వమును గుర్తించినటువంటి వ్యక్తులకు ఎట్టి భేదములు లేక ఎంత దూరమును కూడా విచారించక అనేక విధమైనటువంటి యొక్క ఆనందమును గృహాలను కోరి పరిస్థితులకు ప్రభావములకు గురికాక వెంటాడుతూ ఉంటారు.
Those such feelings will not observe any kind of distances. They will be blissful all the time, not disturbed by circumstances.
ప్రయోజనం లేదు.
It's not in a victory here.
దాని యొక్క మాధుర్యమును గుర్తించడానికి ప్రయత్నించాలి.
You should make an effort to enjoy the sweetness.
కమలం పైననే ఉంటుంటుంది కప్ప.
The frog is present on the fruit.
కానీ ఆ కమలంలో ఉన్నటువంటి మకరందమును కప్ప పోలలేదు.
But the frog cannot experience the nectar contained in the flower.
దూరం నుంచి వచ్చి ఆ యొక్క తుమ్మెదలు ఆ మకరందాన్ని త్రాగిపోతుంటారు.
But honeybees come from far off places and enjoy the nectar in a flower.
కనుకనే మానవత్వంలో అట్టి పవిత్రమైనటువంటి దివ్యత్వము ఉన్నదనేటువంటి సత్యాన్ని గుర్తించడానికి ప్రయత్నించాలి.
Therefore we should make an attempt to understand that sacredness is present in human life.
గడిచిపోతుండాలి. ప్రచండ మారుతం వలె కాలం అతి వేగంగా గడిచిపోతుండాలి.
The time is passing by like a whirlwind.
ఆయు ప్రమాణం అనేటువంటి మంచుగడ్డ వలె క్షణ క్షణములు కూడా కరిగిపోతుండాలి.
Life span is melting like an ice.
కానీ మానవుల కర్తవ్యాన్ని గుర్తించక మునిపే కన్ను మూస్తున్నాడు.
But man is bringing his life to a close without recognizing it.
మానవుని యొక్క ప్రధాన కర్తవ్యము.
What is the main responsibility of man? Duty of man.
No. కనుకనే వాట్ ఇస్ ది పర్పస్ ఆఫ్ లైఫ్?
What is the purpose of life?
ఈ యొక్క మన జీవితం యొక్క పర్పస్ ను గుర్తించుకోవడానికి తగిన ప్రయత్నం చేయటం లేదు.
We are not making an effort to realize the purpose of life.
నాకు ధనం కావాలి,
I want money,
నాకు ఉద్యోగం కావాలి,
I want job,
నాకు సుఖం కావాలి,
I want happiness,
ఆనందం కావాలి.
I want...
ఎక్కడి నుంచి వస్తుంది?
Where from you get them?
దైవానుగ్రహమైనటువంటి దానికి దూరమైపోయి ఈ విధమైనటువంటి పాంచభౌతికమైనటువంటి శరీరమును పోషించుకునే నిమిత్తమై సర్వ సుఖమును కావాలని ఆశిస్తున్నాము.
You are far off from God's grace, and to keep this body, sustain this body,
భౌతికమైన ప్రాకృతమైనటువంటి సుఖమును ఉండినప్పటికీ అది సుఖమును కానే కాదు.
It's no comfort, it's no happiness so long it is worldly and physical.
త్యాగరాజు కూడా చెప్పాడు.
He said by Chagra,
చాలా సుఖమా, ఈశ్వర సన్నిధి చాలా సుఖమా.
Is it wealth that confers you happiness, or the prosperity?
భగవత్ అనుగ్రహానికే పాత్రలైతే ఈ నిధి ఎంత మాత్రం మనకు.
If you are recipient of God's grace, what do you care for money?
కనుకనే మొట్టమొదట సన్నిధిని మనం కోరడానికి తగినటువంటి ప్రయత్నం చేయాలి.
Therefore we should make an effort to earn this proximity to the divine.
ఈ లౌకిక సుఖములు కాదు.
The worldly happiness is no happiness.
Shiva
my humble pranams to Swami's lotus feet. Sarvam Sai Arpanam. Thank you, Swami, for bringing us together to experience such a blissful event. This morning, all New Jersey region members united for Narayan Seva, serving over 1,700 Narayanas in various regions. Health kits were distributed to all the Narayanas along with the delicious food. The enthusiasm of the devotees who gathered at 6 a.m. in the morning to prepare the food and their commitment to living up to his message of service. Thank you, Brother Mayur Narayanan, for giving us a great speech and sharing your personal experience and inspiring talk. Let's give a big one. Today's devotional program was truly amazing. Let's give a big hand to all the volunteers who made this successful. You worked tirelessly with a lot of practices. I'm sure Swami loved your presentation today. How about the altar? Sairam. A lot of volunteers gathered yesterday and it went till quite late in the night, but the commitment to get this altar done, it's so beautiful. Sairam, thank you. A big thanks to the Dhwani team who set up all the audio, video equipments, and also we have live today, and so many devotees are watching the live event. So thank you to all the Dhwani group who did this. A big thank you to the Narayanis who helped us with the food today that we're going to have shortly. Lastly, a big thank you to the church for giving us this place to have a wonderful event today. Thank you, Sairam. A quick announcement that on May 3rd, you all know that we are celebrating Ishwarama Day. So request you all to please join us for that event as well. Sairam, thank you.
जगदीश हरे जगत सारी हरे आज Shayami, ignorance, miraculous, Baba's creation, going round with blessed hand, holy creation, chanting words and latest word, God's divine protection, beloved Baba, grant us liberation, beloved Baba, grant us liberation. Ramirani amor, yotam vetumatam, Vamarayani yodasam, Illuminaratam, Siddhartha-valami, with the most of blessings, Tuja Sai Baba, with the most of blessings, Tuja Sai Baba.
जय बोलो भगवान श्री शिरडी साईनाथ महाराज की जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा की सत्य साई बाबा की सत्य साई बाबा की सद्गुरुदेव की
Sairam, I also want to take the opportunity to thank Brother Sai Chimulapatti, who invariably covers all our events in photography beautifully. That will be a round of applause. A small request, we request everybody to come here for a group photograph. Brother Sai Chimulapatti will be taking that. And then if you want to take individual photographs as well, please take that first, because the altar team will start dismantling it. Thank you, Sairam.
Sarah, please, let's take a picture and then
End.